Call to order the May 4th, 2011 Sylvania Township Board of Trustees.
Roll call. Mr. Haddad?
Here.
Mr. Genowine?
Here.
Mr. Mahoney?
Here.
Mr. Simcoe is absent.
Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes for the April 19th regular meeting. Kevin, you weren't here, but Neil, did you see any corrections?
No, it looked fine.
Okay, then.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from April 19th.
Second.
Calling the roll. Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Haddad?
Hey, I don't know if it would happen, so yes, I'll have to say yes at this point.
Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I have none.
I have something to bring up under administration. And then one thing under public works too. Small things.
Okay.
There's been nobody signed in
Speak
for
out.
agenda items, so at this point there's nothing to add.
From the zoning department?
And zoning has nothing on the agenda, and Tim is at a meeting right now, so
Okay.
next is public works.
Mr. Huffman, moving right along.
I guess we got it before 5.
Good afternoon. The monthly report for April 2011 submitted for your review pretty much consumed with the spring cleanup, brush and leaf pickup. As of yesterday, we consumed so far a little over 2,000 gallons of diesel fuel for the spring cleanup. Other than that, we performed some electric improvements at the zoning office. Tim has a dedicated line now for his computer. There's some website information additions for household waste such as computer, electronics, and we enhanced the yard waste collection center information. There is a site in Toledo now that accepts free yard waste, except it's over on Stickney Avenue. We do have one infrastructure failure on Normandy Road. As soon as it dries out, we have a contractor on standby to repair that. The storm sewer line is probably right around the 1940s era, pre-World War II or so, and it is 8 feet deep, so it's definitely something that's out of our hands. Other than that, other information posted for your review. Upcoming in the next week or two, we'll be opening Phase 2 bids and moving on with other infrastructure projects. Pending your questions, I'll move on to the next item. Recommending Resolution 11-081. This is permission to participate in the State of Ohio winter use contract. In essence, it is the salt purchasing contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation. Last year's salt bid was about $55 per ton. With the fuel escalation and such, I budgeted $65 per ton, just as an estimate. But we'll wait and see. We will not find out till, I think, mid-July.
How much salt did we use this past year?
This past winter, we used an above-average amount, exceeded the 2,500 ton, roughly about 2,800 ton.
We used all of our salt that we had even in reserves, didn't we?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost, sir. Yes. So this year, I'm estimating, again, the average of 2,500 ton. On the ODOT contract, we are committed to buy 80%, so it would be 2,000 ton. That would be our minimum purchase. So, and we can't exceed our 2,500 ton by 20%. So in other words, 80% to 120% is what we are authorized to purchase. I feel comfortable at that 2,500 ton.
Yeah, okay.
I'll offer Resolution 11-081 to participate in the State Ohio Winter Use Program for salt.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Before we get to the fire department, which I don't think at this point has anything, I'd just like to compliment Greg and his crew on the brush pickup that has been going on. I noticed we do get some complaints. People are complaining that it's been out there so long, but as Greg's email earlier today said, it was just a massive job. I mean, that winter ice storm just really knocked lots of brush and limbs off trees and that. And I went down Whiteford the other day and saw his crew out there, and they had backhoes and front-end loaders, and it was just a big job to do, and I want to give him and the staff credit for at least keeping up as much as they have been.
I still have those two questions, but zoning's not here. What are we doing about, because again, during Passover this year, we could not get down Nantucket again, and it's blocked off, and we talked about, since the road is so narrow, putting a no parking zone up on to the boulevard. I've had several neighbors ask me about that in an area from even down in Westchester area. They said that it's hard to get through there if somebody's parked in that area.
I do remember talking about that earlier. In
Have
fact, I think
we
it was the
done
end of last
anything
year.
about that at all? Because Tim and Greg said they're going to have all the streets that were available. So
I know we have a list. I have a list somewhere of all the boulevards and the lists and that, and we'll get back on that.
we need to get on that right away, because I'm just worried, safety reason. We had the girl, the
Right.
accident last year, something happens worse. They just moved the menorah and put planning around it and everything, and
All right, we'll get
that's
on
another
that.
safety issue too that I was
We'll
worried about.
have some information for you by the next meeting.
All right, and then the last thing I was going to have for Greg is that we've been working on the fact that now with the stormwater utility being formed by the county next week, we're paying almost half the bill from the township. And I was thinking, when you take plats of land of townships, how each township is divided up, our township is paying the majority of the money because it's based on residents, not on square footage. I'm sorry there's a farmer out there somewhere who's got 1,000 acres, and that farmer's going to have to pay, for the majority of it, because you're charging 1,000 residents, homeowners, the same amount of money proportionately. So you're talking, for 1,000 people, you're talking $50,000 a year, and that one farmer's paying $50 a year. So I mean, I don't think it's a fair tax that they're going to be putting on the townships and on the burden of the homeowner, when I think if we could, I'm going to go to the meeting next week and ask to opt out of it as a township, do our own tax for $25 a year, and we probably could get just as much, if not more, done through the road department in our own area, because we're not getting reimbursed for the 10-mile creek cleanup from last time, correct?
That's correct.
So that's what I want to just let everybody know. That's what my thing I was speaking about during zoning.
We were originally,
during
under the
roads.
assumption, it was just verbal discussion that work that we had done on 10 Mile Creek previously would be reimbursed, and now we received word that previous work will not be reimbursed, just future.
Well, I spoke to Keith early, and he said that, you're right, he says, but that's how it is, too bad, basically.
So
But we continue to upgrade our ditch system and drainage system yearly, don't we? I mean, I know you guys worked over there by Westgate Chapel this year, and I would think we're going to continue, and we could build the county back for some of that, but
They're not going to pay us anything back before they enact the thing.
I mean, I would think he's got more projects this summer, or...
But still, basically the way he said it, no matter what we have to do here, if they need $1 million in Providence, our $1 million goes to Providence. And we don't get anything that year. That's how it's basically set up. So we are not going to get the full benefit out of our almost 50% of the money we're paying into this thing. It's not that I'm against it, I'm just against us paying the majority of the bill and getting the least amount of benefit to our residents.
Yeah.
Trustees, I'd like to, there's nothing on the agenda, but I'd like to bring the fire up to talk about number 2. We're right down to the final wire, and we'll give you an update as we are today.
Beautiful station.
It's
Great build.
It's a gorgeous station. If you hadn't had a chance to go through it, some of the additions that we made to it have made it really look really nice, so.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, the update that I have today, we just got the information today, actually, that the radio system is in, it's being tested. So we plan on moving in next Tuesday, the 10th of May. Once we move in, we'll give the guys several weeks on getting up and educated on all the new stuff that's in there as far as the geothermal systems, the generators and everything, so they're up to date on all that. At which time, we're looking at tentatively having an open house the weekend of July 4th and 5th. Probably on a Saturday or a Sunday. We'll make sure that everybody gets at least a 2 weeks notice on that, but we'll be doing a open house, and we'll do the uncoupling and all those things that we do to invite the public in. We'll contact the news media and whatnot. The phone... I'm sorry, June.
June.
Did I say July?
You said July,
I
but that's
apologize.
okay, we know what you meant.
I apologize. I'm
nervous.
gonna take
You
some
said holiday weekend.
Yeah, start thinking.
I'm going to take some vacation in July, so maybe I'm just thinking towards July, I don't know. The radio system, as I said, is in. The PCs are going to be moved over. The phone system was in and tested, and that's all ready to go. The punch list has been gone through. The guys have moved in some of their things already, and I think that the 10th, next week, the 10th moving in will be a goal that we can achieve, and everything should run smoothly. We did have a small leak in one of the roofs where some of the shingles blew off. The shingles have been replaced. The leaks are fine, so we're good to go with all that. Okay?
Are we up on number 3? Did they get everything finally done over there?
Mr. Stokes was meeting with Harp again this afternoon, I think, to do the final walkthrough to make sure that everything's done. I know where there were 2 outstanding issues that he was going to talk to him about. The door off the apparatus still needs to be programmed for our ID cards, and we had some concrete that they were going to take a look at, but everything else, I think, is down to just those 2 items, and he was going to walk through there with him today to figure out what the final result is going to be of that.
Okay.
But Tuesday's looking good. If you get a chance to stop in, stop in.
It is beautiful, I was through it.
Thank you.
Just to add on, the chief and I working together, as soon as they move out, we do the contractors into underground storage tanks. Our unit permit expires at the end of June.
Yeah, let's just get that all taken care of.
Next on the agenda is the police department. We have 2 resolutions, and any questions you might have for the chief?
First, as you can follow along, we would ask that you approve Resolution 11-076 for the execution of contracts for the safety town staff that's coming up in June.
For motion 11-076, execution of contract with safety town staff.
Second.
Calling the roll. Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
I did want to discuss this before we
okay.
vote, if
We don't
that's
have to
not a
vote.
problem, I'm sorry. I
Hold
should
the
have
vote.
spoke up.
Hold the vote. We just made a motion and second. Go ahead.
Is there any reason why these people don't volunteer? I mean, as a community person, I mean, we're expected to do a lot of volunteer work, and certainly people request us to be places. I just have, this is a great program, and I definitely want to continue it, but, these people are already, most of them are teachers and things, and, I mean, I'm just kind of curious as to why don't we ask them to kind of volunteer their time? We volunteer the materials and that sort of thing. I mean, and it's not much. I mean, I think the highest person was $685. And it goes to $520. There were 5 or 6 people making that, and then some students, it looked like, that were making $250. And again, and those are the types of things that you could put on your resume and not really receive monetary compensation for them, but I'm sure
It's
there's a
something we
reason.
can approach. I don't know that it's ever been approached, with running Safety Town now for probably at least 15 years. But to my knowledge, it's not been approached. As you said that, I thought of another thing. We might be able to use our Citizens Patrol volunteers, some too.
Yeah.
It probably is a little late in the game to
Yeah,
do that
I
for
agree,
this
I agree.
year.
Do you want to look into that for next year possibly then? That's a good idea, chief.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll take the vote.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes,
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
that's a good idea for next year. Save us the money and let them do it from our citizen volunteers.
Secondly, Susan will discuss this, but I would ask that the trustees consider Resolution 11-083 for execution of a copier lease agreement.
What happens is when you have a lease on copier, The copying company will come to us before the lease expires and offer to upgrade our copier. What they do is then cancel off the lease that we're under. So what we're doing at this point is we're going to get a new copier for the police department. This will cancel off the lease on Township Hall's copier, which was not due to expire until October 2012. So we will be saving $350 a month between now and October 2012. In terms of that, I mean, they're going to get a color copier. They've never had a color copier before, but they either come over to Township Hall and use ours, or they've been using a scanner printer off someone's desktop, which is very expensive to do. With this, they'll be able to get rid of one of the oldest copiers that they have. You're paying a lot higher maintenance cost per page.
What are you paying now on maintenance
I
cost?
think she has it.
They're paying,
Nancy's here, Nancy knows?
2.5 cents.
Are they?
2.5 cents a copy on one of their copies, and 3.3 cents.
What are we gonna be paying on the new machine?
The new one is going to be 1.1 cent.
Oh, so that's half price.
And additionally, those copiers break down.
Oh, yeah.
And-
I was looking at the overhead
and-
cost for $427 a month.
Well, and the good thing is we're dropping the big news is we're dropping the lease off our copier, so the general fund gets it for free.
Yeah, they'll be talking raises now.
I
Okay,
appreciate you looking out,
yeah.
trying to save some money too, both of you guys, thank you.
Okay. Do we want to offer, are we comfortable with offering the resolution, or?
And have we looked at anybody else? That's the best deal we got right now?
Yes.
Okay. I'll offer Resolution 11-083, execution of lease agreement for copier at Police Department. And we get the old one.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Haddad,
Yes.
Mr. Genowine,
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney,
Yes,
Oh, I got the copy of the contract right here.
Under the administrator, about a month ago, we had the Lucas County Stormwater people in here, the Teamagog people in here, and at that time also Soil and Water addressed the trustees for funding and that. We have a resolution on, which is just the trustees can make that any amount they want. We just have what their request was on there, but if they want to change the amount, that's fine. And just for historic purposes, last year, the trustees gave Soil and Water Conservation District $2,500, and in 2009, they gave them $1,250. So at this time, if you want to open up for discussion as funding, if you remember, they gave that presentation about what they do and so forth.
Seems like we just keep spending and spending for the water and,
Well, this is part of the TMACOG, which is the Water Soil Conservation District. If they do enact this tax, what they are going to do next Tuesday, this will be reimbursed, and we won't be paying these fees anymore to TMACOG because that'll come out of the water and sewer, I gotta think of not the soil and water conservation, the stormwater utility. Stormwater utility will pay that from our portion of our $1 million that almost we're giving to this fund. So, we're gonna be spending $1 million to save $2,500 bucks. I don't know, you guys, it seems like a good deal to me. Can't believe this.
was this the,
This is the TMACOG.
I thought this was the little, in Maumee, the little.
Oh, this is the...
No, this is soil and
This is the
water.
soil and water. This is
Yeah,
the,
they-
I'm sorry, this is the one over
They take care
at...
of farmer,
Right.
their big thing was...
I thought we voted on this before for taking care of for our,
No, they just gave a presentation, and then the next meeting, we voted on TMACOG and...
No, I thought we voted on giving them the money to take care of the gypsy moths, because remember you made
No,
a
that's-
statement
That's
about
the
that.
Ohio.
That's
the
crop
Ohio-
extension.
How many more do we got to give money to?
This is the
I mean,
people
really.
on me that they're the only ones with I think a federal person that comes out and reviews the mainly they work with farmer runoff, pollution of the creeks.
I know what this one is. This is the water soil conservation, the one I go to their dinner.
Right.
Yeah. Which they're worried about doing a lot more.
$2,500, Kevin?
Well, I'm just saying, they want to do more green things, so we're not into the mess we're in already now with, thing, and I understand what they do.
Correct.
And that's all the farm fields with farm water runoff and everything.
They are a governmental entity. They're not.
They are.
They're not a nonprofit corporation. They're actually a governmental entity.
That's right. It's up to you guys what you want to give them.
Well,
If
you know,
anything.
I don't, my issue is, here we are in May. They asked for this back in October. You know, if she doesn't come back with a plan, like I told her about making money off the aerial photographs, then it's no. I mean, we're way.
So do you want to postpone the vote till
No,
see
I
if she
mean, I
can
don't have
back
a
in?
problem voting on this, but what I'm saying is, I mean,
For next year.
for next year, if they don't come back with a viable plan, then I've got some, me personally have something to say. But we've gone along with this, I hate to say it, but we've gone along this a while. We're 8 months in responding back to her.
Yeah.
Our fault, my fault, for not doing a better job of maybe getting us up to the front to get to vote on. So,
Do we
and
want
I think
to-
they genuinely do a good job. I mean, for, you know, conservation and the soils, I mean, this isn't a bad thing either. So I guess if you're asking me, I'm gonna approve it.
Okay. Well, do we want to adjust the dollar amount?
That's what I'm saying. Do you guys want to make any changes in this?
Let's, can we make a change on the fly here?
Sure.
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Let's say
whatever you-
$2,000, cut it by $500.
If you guys are okay with that, I guess I'll be okay
And
with
like
it.
Neil said, they need to come back with us with a better business plan for next year if they want us to get involved at all.
Okay. Who's going to make the resolution?
Say 20%. I'll offer resolution 11-084, providing the funding to the Soil and Water Conservation District in the amount of $2,000.
Second.
Calling the roll. Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Next up is the fiscal officer, and Jim is sitting in for Dave, so.
First resolution is, I'd like to offer Resolution 11-077. This is an increase in appropriation for unencumbered balance. And it's for an increase in dues and subscriptions. The $12,240 are for the TMACOG that you approved, previously approved. The $5,550 and the $4,000 are for ICMA, and we want to start doing benchmarking at the township, and this includes all the departments. It includes police and fire, zoning, administration, financial, the whole thing. And the $4,000 is for the training. Somebody will come out from ICMA and actually train everybody here to help gather this data. I'm sure all the data is available, we just don't know how to gather it together. And then we can start comparing it against similar entities throughout the country. And they've gathered all this information, and they're pretty detailed, because I just filled out a questionnaire form 2 days ago, and it was like 3 pages, and there was a lot of questions, and they get a lot of information. I get them all the time, so.
I might add that the township was a member of ICMA last year. When I got here last November, one of my first cost-cutting moves was I said, well, let's save the $5,000 in membership fees, but now with us wanting to do the benchmarking and all the other things that they can provide for us, we're just going to renew them. I mean, it's a new membership because we canceled it, but it's just continuing membership in them that we have been.
Did the fee go up to belong to it?
The fee has been this, well, what we were was, Mr. Thomas was a personal member, okay? That's
Oh.
different versus, this is
That's
a
right.
township.
Yeah.
The township is going to be a member,
Okay.
and that's a different fee structure. So it's basically, the fee structure has stayed the same the last 3 years according to their materials.
Who is the ICMA?
It's a good question.
It's an organization,
Yeah.
It is.
yeah, something like, that they form to gather, that's what they do, is they gather this data from all over the country, and we're able to access the different databases.
And then also, we'll be using it for benchmarking that, but they also are a valuable resource for questions and for how to do things, and they have conferences, and they send out literature And anytime you have questions, you can call them as a member. And I'll forward the literature to you that we
I have
received.
a bunch of literature too.
It's not like NOMA, though.
Pardon me?
Not like NOMA.
No,
Northern Ohio.
no, it's not, nothing like it. What I think, if I could maybe say something to help.
You can.
I think what we're hoping to do, Jim, right, correct me if I'm wrong, is we're hoping to streamline our purchasing powers. So we don't really know in our departments, in our divisions, what we have as far as costs. So can we try to maximize our purchasing power? And this program, it's called benchmarking, and this program will allow you to figure out where we're spending our money and where we're not spending our money. What areas are we upside down on and what areas are we not upside down on? So I think that's kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think I'm pretty sure that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Exactly.
And just dial our business back in so we know what we're spending.
Right.
And have a clear understanding of what's going on.
And
So
just-
that's what the program is.
And for a simple, Jim's used this as a very simple example is, and I don't mean to pick on the police department, but the police department has a certain size budget. The township has so many residents. Are we in the ballgame of what we spend per capita for the police department? And through this benchmarking, we'll get data from all the other townships and municipalities that we want and see, are we doing a good job or bad job, and what can be done to maybe even make it a better job. And so, and I don't mean to pick on the police department, but those are things we'll be looking at. Same thing with the fire, road, general fund, purchasing.
Does this program have like single source purchasing PowerPoints if we were to buy toilet paper from one supplier or
No, I
paper?
don't think so. I think this is basically gathering the data, see how well you're doing in certain areas.
Can we find a program a sub-program of this that would have that capability?
Well, I think once we get the data, and here's what we have, then we can probably go out and look and say, well, now we got the data, what are we gonna do with it and that?
It says $21,790.
No, the first one was Teamacog.
No, this
This is
whole total here.
9,500.
What's this whole thing here, 12,000?
That's the
That's
Teamacog
the
dues
Teamacog
and
that we
subscription.
voted on.
Oh,
so
so
we
you
can
got
pay
this
it.
all under, the whole balances, okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
So the other one's a 5550 and the
Right.
4,000 for training.
Right,
The 4,000 is.
So it's 9550.
I mean, I agree with the concept and what it's gonna provide, but like when we went through insurance, you know, the people that were selling us the insurance came in and they had the benchmarking and things, so, I mean, I don't know if it's $9,500 that we pay to these guys or if we bring in a consultant, if they charge $9,500, I mean, it does seem like a large dollar amount, but I do think we need to start comparing ourselves and looking at where we're spending it and where other townships or municipalities our size and what they're spending and how they're spending it.
right, and the good point of this is, and you used insurance as an example, this will cover all the township, not just, I mean, I suppose we'll get insurance information
All
too.
departments.
But it'll cover all departments and all facets, instead of trying to bring a consultant in to talk about the police department or the fire department or the general fund and that, so hopefully this will cover it all. And, you know, we'll report back to you, and if it's,
Are there any other townships in the area that are using this program, Jim?
I can't honestly answer that question because I asked and they said, well, you're not a member, so they can't answer.
I mean, maybe, it's up to you, but maybe we try to get a better answer than that, and maybe check with the township that's using it and seeing if it's been worth their money, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe.
Right.
defer.
this,
I could check with OTA and have this back by next
Well,
meeting.
what we can do
Put
is,
us off to the next meeting.
we can do this and hold up on actually paying them until we get the information. I mean, this is just moving the appropriations to the correct accounts. And then we can report back to you or through memos or emails what we found. So we can hold off on actually doing it. Is that correct, Jim? Yeah, I mean, this will just authorize us to do it, doesn't mean we'll do it until we get your, okay.
That's what this says, so.
Okay, I'm disappointed in that answer. It'd be very, make it easy if all the townships in the area, I mean, if they're benchmarking, I want to know what they're doing too and tell us that we can't have that information.
Well, I
We're
think-
looking to spend $9,500 with them,
Right,
it's
and
kind
I'm
of
not-
crazy.
I'm not defending their answer in that, but I think one of the things that they're looking at is the township next to us is a member and paid that money, and we're looking for that information for free. So if we get it for free, then somebody else will say, well...
We're not asking to benchmark anything, we're just asking who's a member, so we can decide if it's
That
beneficial for
information we might
us.
be able to get in that.
Yeah.
We'll work with them, tell them we're interested in joining
Yeah.
and see what we can do.
And I like Kevin's idea too, with, through the OTA, maybe we can find something out.
I'll call the OTA and find out who's where.
Okay,
I just had a meeting the other day.
okay.
So we'll hold off on actually paying them until we get your approval. And
If that's the case, then we'll offer Resolution 11-077 for township appropriation unencumbered balance to increase the funds in those amounts.
Second.
Calling the roll. Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
I'd like to offer a resolution 11-078, and this is also an appropriation from unencumbered balance. This is for advance out to the police grant fund, and this is in order for us to advance the monies from the police fund to the grant fund, and it's for
$5,132.
yeah, I know that, but I was trying to think, it's for the same,
please,
Bulletproof,
the bulletproof vest.
Oh, it's a
Okay,
bulletproof
thank
vest
you.
here.
We have to advance the money, we spend the money, and then we get reimbursed, and then we advance it back. I know it's a pain, but,
it's government economy.
yeah, so.
But basically, this is grant dollars that we'll be
Okay.
providing this.
Offer resolution 11-078, appropriation from unencumbered balance, where was I at here? 5132 to advance to the police grant fund.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes, and it's 50 cents extra. I saw that on there.
Okay. The next resolution
Is to do the purchase.
is transfer of funds, and actually we have to, I should rename this, it should be called advance of funds. Instead of transfer,
Yeah.
they don't have to pay it back, advance they do. So, but we're advancing the money that we just approved, the appropriation for, so.
All right, so I'll offer a resolution 11-079 to advance funds to the police grant fund for bulletproof vests. That sound better to you, Jim?
Correct.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Haddad,
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney,
Yes.
Mr. Genowine.
Yes.
Okay, the next resolution is Resolution 11-080, and that is for the payment of then and now purchase certificates. These particular two, let me get it.
Oh, there's a stormwater.
Okay, yeah, the one is, first one is the IBNR that we approved, increase. We've had the invoice for quite a while, so we have to pay that on a then and now certificate. And the last one's the Stormwater Coalition, and the other one's the Teeter membership. We had bills and they're dated prior to the purchase order, so they have to be on a
Then and now.
purchase
Yep.
certificate.
Now, the IBNR reserve, that is paying down the amount we were upside down on
Correct.
in our health department.
Correct,
And, or on our health insurance.
that's right,
And is that a quarter of the amount that we were
Half.
upside down? Half.
half.
Okay.
We're at 55.
And the IBNR, I mean, in insurance lingo, that's incurred but not reported, where these are claims paid, correct?
These were claims paid by Omarissa because we did not have enough funding to cover them. And so, to help us with our insurance for this year and lower the percentage increase, we paid half of that IBNR.
That's the
Hopefully,
other
because
half,
it-
isn't it?
Pardon me?
This is the other half?
No, this is, we're only paying one half
First
of it. Hopefully, the other half, because of changes we made in our insurance
We won't have to.
plan with the various unions and that, will save us enough money that will reduce some, I don't know if we'll wipe it out, but we'll reduce that other $268,000 to a smaller number that we would owe next year. The good news is, I mean, the bad news is that we had claims that high. The good news is that Omarissa pays it and doesn't charge us any interest on that
Yeah.
money.
Do we have any reporting on this year? How are we looking?
We have not. I just bring this up a note to give you an update at the next meeting on the
Okay.
as part of the plan to reduce our costs.
Yep. Okay, I'll offer Resolution 11-080 to pay the IBNR to Omarissa, Timacog, and the Stormwater Coalition. Then and now purchase certificate.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Okay, the final resolution, 11-082, is a change in our investment policy. The investment committee has gotten together to look at some of our money to invest, hoping to earn a few more dollars than what we're getting with Cedars. And in order to do this, we're going to have some of that money out there longer than our investment policy said it was 2 years. And the only change that I've made on that policy is on the very first page under time limits. I crossed out 2 years and changed it to 5 years. That's the only thing that would be changing in the policy. And I don't anticipate money being out there that long, but
If circumstances arise where it would be beneficial to do that, it's up to 5 years. But at this point, as Jim said, we do not plan on going out 5 years. But we might go out 3 years. I mean, that's well within the range.
So now we're going to change this one word from 2 years to 5 years in the time limits?
yes, that's it.
But that would be at the determination of the committee, correct?
Correct.
Which is a trustee, the fiscal officer administrator, and director of accounting and budgeting.
Correct.
I would personally like to have better updates on the decisions of the investment committee. I have never seen the minutes from those meetings or, even the accounts and what we are drawing on them. And, I know everyone in there is competent in things, but I think as a board, we need to be a little bit more transparent. And again, I don't think what the township does is going to sway any financial markets or anything, so it shouldn't be, secret.
Well, no,
It should be out there.
What we'll do is, from now on, anytime the investment committee meets, at the next board meeting, we'll give you, or we can do it if you want by email, but we can do it officially at a board meeting, give you an update of what has
I think that'd be great. That way the public can,
I have a spreadsheet to keep you up to date on a daily basis.
I don't need that.
We just want to just be...
Yeah, we'll make sure you're updated on it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Offer resolution 11-082 to change the investment terms from 2 to 5 years.
Second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Open discussion among the trustees?
I did want to bring up the one thing about House Bill 153, which was going to be 150 was separated but incorporated into it, which is a 3,000-page document down in the House in Ohio. It's a portion where they're going to allow us as an entity to opt out of TARDA, provided that we perform our own public transportation service. So for Perrysburg and other areas, that's what's going to be part of this House Bill 153, which is the final bill for the budget. I don't know why they wrapped it into the budget, but it's part of the budget process, and if this does pass, it will give people like us, Springfield, Monclova, White House, Waterville, all the way down to Perrysburg to form our own public transportation system. So if I want to stay home, leave my car there, have a bus pick me up and take me to the airport and drop me off at Toledo Express, I don't have to worry about parking there or anything and get a ride back. And it would also take us to the mall and drop off, and you could take TARDA from there. But it would be a responsible system, and we could save our tax dollars and opt out of the TARDA system.
You could catch that one flight out of the airport a week.
One flight. But I'm saying, even if you wanted to go...
Well, I do hear the downside of this, though, is the county could become a member.
They could.
And then they would require us, and it would then allow Perrysburg and Perrysburg Township to opt out again, like they were hoping. And I
Right.
think it was a House bill that was sponsored by...
Randy Gardner.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I just was keeping you up to date on, I just got the legislative alert from Heidi today, so
I do think that there are some pros and cons in there that we need to kind of be
Keep our eyes
carefully
on.
watching, yes.
Well,
Okay.
it's page 473 to 517, so if you want to go read it.
Okay. Non-agenda items, Mr. Hayes?
Just a couple comments here. And first of all, Mr. Haddad brought up about these $1 million or whatever we spent. I think we need to look into that more. I think we need to run this more like an entity of our own. That's just my opinion. I don't know all the ramifications. Maybe that $1 million that we pay would cost us $2 million. I don't know that, and maybe that's not the case. But I think we can do more ourselves. I think we have the capability of running this more like our own operation. We can outsource stuff if, I don't know what his organization's doing, but we can still outsource stuff. We don't have to have everybody that works for Greg go out here and do this work. I don't know how their contract works or anything, but I know we have the right to outsource. I think they're in arbitration or something now, but, I think we need to really look at this thing, because in the construction industry, we priced everything out. You guys, I understand, have to pay out so much money. I think everything should be priced out. I don't know if you have to have a purchasing agent, but I think you have a list of stuff, and I'm sure there's enough people around here that work here could act like a purchasing agent. You talk about toilet paper, I'll get you a price on toilet paper. Get your price on anything and put it out. I think you could save a ton of money. And I'm not saying you guys are wasting it. I'm saying us taxpayers, all of us together are wasting that because same old, you don't get it. We keep giving $2,500 there, $1,200 there, for what? Let's really analyze, and I'm just going on what Mr. Haddad said, hey, why give all this money to support somebody else, and we don't get the money back here? I don't know if we can handle it. We need to look at it and see if we can handle that type of work, but I don't see them doing anything that we couldn't do.
Well, they're just forming another part of the government, which is going to create $2.3 million under the engineer's office to run to take care of stormwater. And we have no choice in it. It's going to be formed by the county commissioners next Tuesday, whether we want to or not. I just don't know if there is an option for us to be able to opt out and form our own utility and have our own district, which would save us a ton of money comparably to paying into this for everybody else to spend.
And that's my point too. I'm agreeing with you.
Yes, that's why I wanted to get the whole thing.
I don't think we need to run in there and say, hey, we're out of the game here, but until we find out that we can handle it, but I can't believe we can't. I don't see any equipment the county or any of the rest of them have that we don't have out here, or better, to do any of them jobs that.
It's just going to be another tax on your taxes. That's what they're going to do, force another county tax.
If we have that funds, and we can handle it, such as if it's 8 feet deep, because you have to have the stuff to go down to protect the workers and stuff, you can outsource it. And I think we're missing the boat on that. Just my opinion. I'm not ragging on you guys or anybody.
No.
I'm just bringing it up.
Yep.
For a change.
Thanks, Al.
This has been a moving target, and, I've never really been explained, what the impact is going to be on a homeowner and a commercial. I mean, I heard the impact to like Myers was going to be, tens of thousands of dollars, and of course that was speculation and things were still being tweaked. So I would like to get it in writing what their proposal is and what will they be covering. I do know that if we're not in compliance, we are subject to fines and things by the EPA, and certainly we want to avoid those. But I do think that this has been moving so fast that we really haven't been...
I'll get you the PowerPoint presentation. I have it at the shop. I'll bring it over and get copies, put it in both your mailboxes.
Great. Okay. Is that it?
That's the only person that signed.
Okay.
Executive session.
I would like to make a motion to go into executive session at 4:44, authorized by the Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22, to discuss personnel matters in all departments.
Second. All right, Neil, second.
Calling the roll, Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Don't forget to turn in your bids for